Many years ago, there was a country along the coast. There was also a sculpture gallery in the prosperous country called Agathi Nadu. The name of a student studying there was Nandan. Although this Nandan had some interest in sculpture, he was bored and disgusted at the thought of spending time in the sculpture studio forever. However, his father, who wanted him to learn some art, had enrolled him in the sculpture studio. So, with no other option, Nandan came to study sculpture out of boredom. One day, while he was going to the beach, he saw a big ship standing by the beach. So far he has visited that beach many times, but he had never seen such a strange ship. So, he went inside the ship and had fun looking at it. Even the interior of the ship was very different. Inside, there were also some secret rooms. When he had thus seen all the sights and was about to depart, the ship was at anchor and ready for her voyage. "Oh, I am an outsider here. Stop the ship," Nandan shouted. Hearing that noise, a man with gigantic physique came and stood in front of him. Only now did Nandan understand. It was no ordinary ship, a pirate ship. He was blown away. "Forgive me. I came into this ship unknowingly. I will not tell anyone about you. Get me off," he pleaded with the pirate. But he and his men were not about to let Nandan go. The ship continued its voyage to take him as their hostage. Thus, the ship in which Nandan and the pirates were traveling suddenly got caught in a huge whirlpool. Tossed and tumbled, it finally stopped at the border of another country. So it went to the border and stopped. All the country's guards rushed into the ship. They arrested all the pirates they saw, including Nandan, who was traveling with them, and brought them before the king. These pirates are no ordinary people. That is why, in those days, if they were caught, they would be punished very severely. The king also gave death sentence to all of them. Nandan, who was considered one of them, was included. So, Nandan started crying terribly. He pleaded with the king that he was not a robber but a student of sculpture. But the robbers who stood by him completely denied it. King, don't trust him. He is one of us too," they said. "I don't trust any of you. In 3 months you will all be beheaded. Till then you all go and stay in prison," he said, and sent them to a high-security prison. Nandan's agony increased. He sat in his prison cell and cried every day. It was in this situation that a guard working in the prison took pity on Nandan. "Why, brother? Have you not even a shred of evidence to prove yourself to the king?" he asked. "Sir, what can I do? I am a sculptor. Can I come with chisel and stone in hand to prove it?" replied Nandan in despair. The guard thought and said, "Okay, brother. I'll bring you a chisel. Carve a sculpture. Maybe, if you really know how to carve a sculpture, you can prove yourself to the king." That being said, it turned out to be a good idea for him too. As soon as possible, he procured a chisel through the guard. Wouldn't they have put a pillow in the prisons of ancient time for sleeping? He decided to make his sculpture on that pad itself. Sculpting was difficult because learning was not fully engaged during the education period. However, he tried to carve a good sculpture day and night, without sleeping a wink, remembering everything that his chief sculptor had said little by little. Days passed like this, and the day of his punishment came. Typically, death row inmates are asked before their sentences are executed, "What is your last wish?" Ask that. Similarly, they asked Nandan too. "I have only one wish. I have prepared a gift for the king in this prison where I have lived for so long. Since I cannot take that gift, the king should come here to see it." "That is enough," said Nandan. Being a death row prisoner, the king also agreed. He came to the jail to visit his cell. Nandan stood opposite the king, hiding the pad he had received to carve the sculpture. "You said you want to give me a gift. What gift is that?" asked the king. Nandan showed the sculpture a little away from where he was standing. In that sculpture is the face of Raja Mata. The king was just so scared. So, aren't you a pirate? The king asked him and continued, You are a sculptor, as you said the other day. Then the king released him. He also sent him back to his country after giving him a sum of money as compensation for his imprisonment without committing any crime. Friends, as seen in this story today, who helps us in danger or not, the education we have learned will help us. Education is not only the subjects we study in textbooks and the degrees we acquire. Education includes all the trades and arts we learn. That education which we learn after spending time and effort will save us in times of danger.